experience through interaction with the local community in the various research, which it highlighted the fact that, in fact, no higher education might be better than the irrelevant higher education. It is mainly because through interaction with the local, the stakeholders of the education, we feel that the uneducateds are enjoying the life with whatever they have. Similarly, the people with industry relevant higher education are also enjoying luxurious life. But the people with irrelevant higher education are suffering in the life. Maybe in search of the job. In fact, I conducted one survey with respect to this thing also. I will share the findings of this my survey pertaining to this aspect. So therefore, what is very important is, it's not that the quality of higher education need to be qualitative. Otherwise, rather than ensuring sustainable better future for the student, it may make them. So for few decades now, persistent problems declining. Probably for all the economics faculty,
environmental economics,
my faculty members always they used to worry about the declining admission to economics in conventional higher education institutions. So this in this backdrop, fourth industrial revolution process, there is not only the problem of declining admission to generally to the arts graduation, but particularly even economics, admission to economics is also getting suffered. In this fourth industrial revolution process aggravated the problem of economics teachers and students in the conventional higher education institution. So therefore, the proper understanding of the nature of the issue, addressing this issue can contribute for the sustainable future to the economic students as well as teachers. And in fact, it is also matching the core theme of this refresher course. Yeah, in the beginning, let me give some basic ideas on how the higher education and sustainable development are interrelated with one another. Particularly here, I wish to explain about how the quality higher education could help in sustainable development. With respect to this, first of all, as all of us know, as I already told, the first two slides are very basic in nature. They are conceptual. They are not any analytical things. Based on the literature, we could list some of the ways how the better quality higher education could helps in sustainable development. Firstly, the quality higher education helps in human capital development. It equips the graduates with advanced skills, knowledge, and critical thinking. And higher education could also contribute for the innovation and research, which could foster the technological solution to not only the economic challenges, but also we could utilize the innovation and research findings for the better environmental quality also, which could contribute more to the sustainable future. And even higher education through higher education, we could also integrate sustainability principles into our curriculum in different forms to promote eco-friendly practices, not only in the routine life, but also in the developmental effort. And added to that, access to education for the marginalized groups definitely could contribute for reducing the inequalities. Because say, even if a poor individual get access to the better quality education, sure that his economic condition will improve, and that will contribute to the overall economic development. And the curricula which aligns skill development with changing industrial needs, we could ensure it through the industry academia collaborations, which could definitely meet the changing needs of the industrial sector by providing the better quality, better trained human resource. And higher education could also inculcate the culture of lifelong learning culture, which encourages continuous learning and adaptability in response to the technological change. And this higher education could also train the people with better leadership quality by incorporating, by developing the ethical values, visionary leadership qualities, committed for the social responsibility of ensuring sustainable development goals. Yeah, through these different ways, this better quality higher education could contribute for the overall sustainable development. But this is the theory, or this is the principle. I mean, the principles how this higher education could contribute for the overall economic development. But in practice, the present days higher education sector has various issues, and the issues in the higher education sector, rather than helping in sustainable development, it hampers the sustainable development in different forms. Yes, we know that human capital development could contribute, but unfortunately, there is skill match. The skill that is being created by the higher education institution may not be matching with the requirement of the industry. That's what we used to say. Many graduates lacks practical and industry relevant skills, which which resulted in unemployment, underemployment, and so on and so forth. Yeah, better quality research in higher education institutions. Definitely, it could not only create knowledge, but also it could contribute in development of the technology. But limited funding for innovation, many a times, it also resulted in the brain drain and weak industry linkages. Yeah, we do research which is of not much relevant to the industrial needs. So therefore, research outcomes often remains theoretical rather than contributing to the overall industrial development or for the production or some other things. And yeah, we know that in principle, we should to say it contribute to the environmental friendly practices, but sustainability often addressed superficially. We know how, say, in education institution, if we are going for, say, accreditation to premier institute like NAC and other things, we show how we are environmental friendly. Actually, though we are not practicing it in our routine life, we show that we are practicing environmentally sustainable practice. See, these practices are not for showing, but only thing they have to become our culture, part of our culture. But there we are failing with the fact that we are trying to address these issues superficially rather than making it as a culture of our life. And and added to that, we have the problem of digital divide. We have unequal access to learning resource for disadvantaged. Technology is changing, but we need to make the people, inculcate digital literacy, but unequal access to learning resource for disadvantaged people, rather than contributing for the equity. In fact, it is increasing the rural-urban divide or digital divide. Digital divide is also contributing for unequal distribution of opportunities. And see, our curriculum is not updated to the expectations of the industry, so that lead to industry gap, which lags behind rapid technological shift, and of course, in fact, present days economics. The present days business environment, it expect each individual to keep updating himself. But there is lack of motivation for upskilling. Once if we feel that we are still in the old mindset, if once we get graduation, it's end of learning. But we stop formal learning after initial degrees. Actually, which is not suitable to the existing changing technological situations. So these are some of the issues. So in this backdrop, as I already mentioned, higher education, with the fact that I mentioned, higher education in India has issues for decades. It's not now. It is not just, we cannot say that higher education institution has the issues only now. Issues are we have the issues for the decades, but particularly for the faculties in arts subjects, arts discipline, particularly to including our economics also. In fact, this fourth industrial revolution technology or fourth industrial revolution space, it is being emerging as something like a rubbing the salt in the wound. That means we have already problem. But this fourth industrial revolution technological changes, in fact, it is aggravating our problems rather than solving. So it's mainly because the speed of change in technology. We know that change, only thing which is permanent is the change. We know that, we agreed. But the speed of change in technology is being getting accelerated over the years. It is particularly true with the introduction of this fourth industrial revolution technologies. In this, the mode of production and the nature of work has been changing. Industry expecting new kind of skills, which keeps changing. Some premier higher education institutions are restructured their curriculum to meet the changing needs of the industry, and they are much ahead of the other majority of the institutions which are being lagging behind. Majority of the higher education institutions are not able to cope up with the changes because of constraints they have, because of bottlenecks they have. The students graduated from such institutions lack employability. So all these issues, they are in fact created a situation wherein no higher education is better than the irrelevant higher education. You can see, I want to tell, very recently I had been to some survey relating to the career transition. When I had an interaction with some local leader, he openly told the fact that, yes, sir, actually the people without education, they are well settled. They are at least by doing something. The people with good quality education through some premier institute or there are some institutions which are inculcating the skills, they are also doing better. They have some livelihood security. But the graduates with improper skill set, they are becoming burden to the society rather than, they are not only burden for their own life, but also they become something like a problem to the entire society. So we need to be very serious about this kind of issues. So therefore, there is an urgent need to align higher education to meet the needs of the industry of the fourth generation of the industrial revolution. And it is the responsibility of all of us to understand this change, and we have to understand the needs of the change, and we have to contribute, how I have to get myself change to cope up with this change, and how could I train my student to enable him to cope up with this change. If we develop this kind of, if we develop a proper perspective on these issues, not only helpful in improving our own career, but also it helps in the career transition of the career transition of our students, that is career transition of the students who are coming with a good aspiration to learn economics in the graduation or in the post graduation, how we could add value to them. So to enable you to understand this thing, first let me explain how this fourth industrial revolution, how it is having a transformative forces. Actually, fourth industrial revolution is not just a technology. It is not just a technology which brings change in the production. It is not just a technology which brings in the way we are rendering the service, but it is a technology which has the power, which has the it has the something, it has bring some change in the it is emerging as a something like a transformative force which bring change in the entire economic structure of the nation. So in this backdrop, just let me ask you one simple question. In this backdrop, what are the most disruptive technologies affecting not only the job creation capacity of the investment and job creation capacity of the economy, it is also bringing change in the economic structure, economic relationship, and also it brings change in the career in economics today. If some, can anyone respond and tell me, mention some technologies which are bringing lot of change in the contemporary situation? Could anyone unmute and respond to this question? Can mention some technologies which brings change?
Artificial intelligence, sir.
Yeah, AI. Okay. Artificial intelligence. Then what are the other technologies? What are the other technologies you could add to this list?
Digital innovation.
Yeah. Let me give some small list of technologies. As somebody mentioned, it is the artificial intelligence and machine learning, which automates the decision making and complex analysis. It affects sectors from finance to healthcare, agriculture, logistics, and many sectors of the economy. And added to that, more than that artificial intelligence, now we are speaking of robotics, automation. We are speaking of industrial robots and service robots, which are replacing repetitive tasks, the repetitive works which are being done by human beings. In fact, they are replacing the human work. So the robotics is another thing which adds to the chain. And Internet of Things, IoT, network of connected devices enable the real-time monitoring in manufacturing. And also not only in manufacturing. Now we are speaking of the precision farming. We are introducing the drones in agriculture sector. Even healthcare sector, we are integrating the Internet of Things in healthcare services also, urban planning, internet. So, and added to that, we have the big data, advanced analytics. Now it is not just, we need not be, without much of the human intervention, with a very, very minimal human intervention, we are able to extracting actionable insights from massive data sets, transforming decision making in business and policy and public policy issues. So this is the thing. And now we have also autonomous vehicles, like self-driving vehicles. We are also, now drivers will not have the work to drive the vehicles. We are getting the autonomous drivers, self-driving car, delivery drones, and agriculture drones, changing transportation, logistics, and monitoring. And added to that, we have cyber security technologies, AI-powered threat detection, biometric authentications, crucial for, these are all crucial for the data-driven economies. And also we have something, renewable energy technologies, solar, wind, tidal, energy storage innovations, resilient strategies. So these are all, so actually these technologies are not only these are the technologies which are not just bringing change in the nature of work. They are bringing change in the economic structure, economic shape, and also they are bringing change in the industrial requirements. So see, all this technological, we are using the term fourth industrial revolution. Fourth industrial revolution, it is the revolutionary change in the mode of production and revolutionary change in the way we are rendering the service. by utilizing all these technologies. So this fourth industrial revolution, it represents the convergence of advanced technologies which blur the boundaries between physical, digital, and biological domains. Now, earlier we were speaking, digital is something different and physical is something different, but we have the system in place which could synthesize and which could integrate all these things, which could bring all these things together in an integrated format. This term is used to indicate the fact that all these physical, digital, and biological domains are integrated and they brought into put it into place to bring revolutionary change in the way we are producing the goods, the way we are rendering the service. Say, for example, rendering service means actually the entire teaching learning environment is changing at a much faster rate. So, see, these technologies are not just limited to the industry. They have extended to the service sector also. Many of these components are entering into agriculture sector also. So, it builds on digital revolution with the technologies like AI, robotics, Internet of the Things, big data, blockchain, 4G connectivity, all these things. The most important features of this fourth industrial revolution, in fact, it transformed the traditional system into digital framework. Everything is digitalized now. Actually, your books are digitalized. Now, earlier you can recall, I think most of the faculties who are here, probably you might have get exposed to the situation what we had in 1990s. Getting a book, it was a big thing. Now, getting a digital book it is just in the fingertips. Within a fraction of a minute, you can get whatever information you want. See, books are digitalized now. You need not search for a book now. Everything is digitalized and replacing human labor in repetitive tasks with advanced machineries. That, as I mentioned, even for serving customers in a hotel, we need not want to depend upon the servers. Say, the robots are ready to serve the people in the hotels. And now we need not have to go for a driver to drive our car. Or, I mean, as just now mentioned, that self-driving cars on the road now. And this fourth industrial revolution resulted in seamless communication between devices. Now, earlier we were speaking about communication between man and machine. Actually, just one decade earlier, the communication was between the man and machine. Actually, now we have entered into the situation, one device or one machine is having communication with some other machine automatically. Machines themselves are communicating with one another. Devices, systems, and networks, they are communicating with one another through which we are entered into a situation where many of the tasks can be done, many of the tasks can be performed without the human intervention. So, integration of this AI, IoT, and robotics lead to the technological convergence for efficient production, delivery of the services. So, all these changes revolutionizes industries by enhancing the efficiency and creating the innovative. All right, this is the thing that what are the impacts? What are the impact of this fourth industrial revolution on industrial and service sector? Before I'm coming to teaching and learning of economics, first let us try to analyze how it has affected. First thing is actually adoption of, with respect to industrial production, adoption of robotics, AI, and IoT for precision and reduced human interventions resulted in smart manufacturing. Now we are not just in the era of physical manufacturing. Now we are in the era of smart manufacturing. In fact, this 3D printing technology, it has revolutionized production process by enabling rapid prototyping and on-demand manufacturing. So we could quickly, whatever we need to do, we could, whatever new kind of product we need to do, even 3D printing technology is ready to assist the manufacturing sector. This Internet of Things devices monitor machinery, which are minimizing the downtime, and they are enhancing the productivity. So the productivity maintenance is being done by automated machines. Robots can manage this now. So this is how there is change in the industrial production pattern. And as far as service sector is concerned, service sector is not an exception, whether it may be education, particularly banking is the one. The pattern of service, I mean, the way the service rendered by banks has revolutionized. Personalized communications in banking, healthcare, and retail through this AI-driven services could improve the service delivery systems. Now we could understand. Actually, now, if you understand the thing, earlier we used to tell me who, I mean, now the only instrument which could understand you better is your mobile. You are paying making some payment for diabetic medicine, that your mobile will understand. It will give you information about all the technologies related to diabetes. So this automation has developed to such an extent. Machineries can understand you better now. So, and faster delivery through robotics and drones through automation in the logistics will be of great use in service delivery system. It is not only that, virtual learning platform and AI tutors transforming traditional teaching methods, they are bringing change in the education delivery systems. Now students are, now we are just speaking, oh, students are not showing interest in coming to class. See, when they have information with their mobile, of course, there is darker side of it. I agree. I do endorse it. But the thing is, our customers, I mean, our students are moving towards some other alternative source of information through which they could get whatever they want in the way they want it. They could customize. They could fulfill their demands by customizing their requirement. So that is the change which has been revolutionized in this service delivery system, including in education. So all these things, this fourth industrial revolution, it has brought a kind of supply side revolution. In the sense, automation and artificial intelligence, they improve the output with fewer resources through increased productivity. This increased productivity has resulted in producing more output with less input, with less particularly human resource. Automation, digitalization, and overall fourth industrial revolution technology has reduced production and operations cost. So cost efficient. Production is cost efficient now. And advanced logistics and e-commerce integrates the supply chains globally, and it has improved the market access. So you can see here, see in the supply side revolution, we have three things here. You can see here. One is productivity has increased, cost reduction is possible, and also easy market access is enabled through this technology. So all these things, in fact, now, earlier we used to tell, whenever there is, I mean, even in 1930s, James Keynes has mentioned, when there was unemployment, he advocated for investing more. Investing more, it was on the assumption that investment will create the employment. But now we have entered into the field where definitely investment can contribute more to the production, may not be to the creation of more jobs. We are moving into such a situation where obviously investment can contribute more for the production of goods and services. There is no guarantee that they add more to the employment. This is the the major change that this fourth industrial revolution is initiating or is emerging now. And with this, let me analyze let me share something about the impact of fourth industrial revolution on job market. That's which is most important, particularly for education institutions. The sustainability of courses depends upon how good we are at creating employability among our students. But when job market itself is changing, if we try to inculcate, skills the way we were doing earlier, we may be outdated. We may not able to cope up with the change. So for that, let us understand how this transformative fourth industrial revolution technology has brought change in the job market. Number one, obviously there are job losses and transformation. Automation of repetitive tasks definitely will lead to the job loss. But of course, very recently Sundar Pichai was of the view that yes, there are some disruptions, no doubt. There may be loss of some job, some kind of job. Definitely, the number of jobs that are going to be added, the number of the different kinds of that are being added to the system will be much more than that of the jobs that are being get lost. That means to say, I'm not of the belief that it will definitely reduce overall employment generation, but it will bring change. In the sense, the works which are of repetitive in nature definitely will disappear. But they are expected to create new kind of job roles. The jobs, they were not there. Now many of the jobs which were not there earlier, now we are coming across many different kind of new jobs. New job roles are being emerging. Earlier, cyber security professionals were not there. Now, green technology jobs were not there. Now we have. Now actually, like that, there are. Service boys were not there. Now we have gig economy. Gig economy is a new concept now. Rise of freelancing, platform offerings, flexible work arrangement. This is all new kind of job market we are coming across. So there is rapid expansion in the gig economy now. And this with these, there are some emerging challenges. There is growing demand for highly skilled, of course, new additional jobs with highly skilled professionals, but they are few in number. The quantum of new highly professional jobs that are going to be added will be much less than that of the number of that unskilled jobs that we are going to lose. And uneven access to new opportunities is likely to increase income disparities. Uneven access, I will tell you about that later. Actually, I have one more talk on the same thing, economic inequality. In that, I'm going to highlight more of this thing. Uneven access to these new opportunities. This technological change has created new opportunities, but with their accessibility to that kind of new opportunities are not evenly accessible to all. This is the new kind of challenge. And increased stress from job insecurity and adapting to it. Sometimes and many times they create a kind of problem of mental health issues. So these are the emerging challenges. In this backdrop, I would like to bring to your information that actually very recently, World Economic Forum, early as in the year 2016, it has estimated that roughly 30% 65% of the today's children, the job types that exist today. It means to say that the remaining 65% of the people have to do the works which are not yet existing today. That means the nature of work is changing so fast. The same report, in fact, it has listed some of the skills for which there will be more and more demand in the economy. Maybe in the whatever may be the kind of technology we are going to and we need to embrace. But definitely there are certain skills for which there will be more demand. And this list is something like an indicator of what we have to do in our teaching career, which we have to create through our teaching career. The most important skills for which there will be more demand in the years to come or say decades to come, they include analytical thinking and innovation, complex problem solving skills, critical thinking, resilience and stress flexibility, creativity and originality, leadership and social influence, reasoning, ideation. It is the idea. The people, there was some disturbance. Is it visible? Slides are visible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Somebody respond, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Slides are visible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. With these, with these few things, just I mentioned the overall impact of this fourth industrial revolution on industry, on job market, and also on the overall economy. Now let me spare some time, some few slides, maybe some 5 to 10 slides on impact of this fourth industrial revolution on the education sector, which is of quite. With this, later I will come to our economics. First, I will I tried to analyze impact of this fourth industrial revolution on higher education sector. Later, I could move on, particularly specifically to our economic subject. So I think there are some 5 to 6 slides. I mean, they are pertaining to this impact of fourth. First, let me explain you about impact of this fourth industrial revolution on learning habits of our youths. I think you are all my colleagues, professional friends. I think it may not be just my own experience. You too might have been come across practically through the learning habits of your students. You might have seen this fourth industrial revolution technology has brought personalized learning pathways through this AI and adaptive technologies which enhance individual students' progress. Now, I think you may not know, the students are now more towards this online learning platforms, which are focusing on personalized learning pathways, which are customized to the students' needs now. Now the industry is growing very fast, which are grabbing the students in training them. And this blended and hybrid learning models increases the flexibility in accessing higher education. And learning is not just monotonous now. Gamification and simulations. Now, there are platforms. Say, for example, now you might have seen even AI tools, or they are creating something like a gamification of learning of a language. Through fun, through games, one can learn something, which makes learning more interactive and engaging. Digital collaboration tools promotes teamwork across the geographical boundaries. Now, a student from Davangere need not learn only from the teachers of Davangere. Sitting in Davangere, he can learn something from. See, very recently I come across a boy in Davangere, just a graduate in Davangere, is training Kannada grammar to one of the, I mean, some child who is staying in Washington, D.C. Just, I mean, it is not necessary that what things to be taught, but it depends upon the requirements. And digital collaboration tools promote teamwork across geographical boundaries that I mentioned. And micro learning and modular courses support continuous and skill-based learning habits. Bit later, I've come across about the changing learning needs of the students. Now, it is not just, now people are moving only to learn a specific skills through a specific platform for a specific job. Like that, now micro learnings, modular courses. Now you can, I mean, probably you might have seen, even when you are with your mobile, you may get a notification. Learn how to integrate AI to Excel for your research. We will train you this skill in one day, just for the payment of 100 rupees. Like that, you may get the notifications like that. So that kind of micro learning habit is growing. Access to global knowledge networks broadens the academic exposure behind the traditional classrooms now. Our students are not just restricted to classrooms now. Now they feel getting exposure to the global network, global source of knowledge. By getting the flavor that, oh, this is the way how we can learn. Enjoying that kind of skilling, that kind of environment. If we restrict them to classroom, definitely I'm sure that they may get bored. So they need different kind of teaching. And emphasis on lifelong learning through these changes. And because of this change, educational needs of the students are also changing. In the sense, there is shift from traditional long-term degrees to focused programs that lead directly to the employment. See, now people are speaking. That is the actually for a major, probably who are in the platform. Besides sitting in this platform, your principal might have already instructed you, go and encourage your subject. Go and promote admission to your subject. Majority, go and promote your subject, encourage students to enroll to economics. This is what work you are doing now. But you have to understand the fact that there is shift from traditional long-term degree to focused programs that directly lead to employment. We want job, that's it. We don't want 5 years degree, 3 years degree or so. We want to learn something, some skills, which directly enable me to get some job. And these examples include micro credentials. Now, actually, I'm going to give you a list of online platforms which are providing nano degrees, micro credential, certifications on certain skills offered by the platforms. It may be Coursera or Udemy. I have a list. I will show it to you later. There are hundreds of learning platforms which are attracting millions and millions of students just to train them in micro credential, nano degrees, certificate courses, which are short term in nature, but enabling the students to get some job, some kind of work. That's what the shift we are observing. And the most important benefits of short term courses: faster skill acquisition tailored to the industry needs, and more affordable and flexible for diverse the different kind of learners demographics, including working professionals, people of different age groups, and so on and so forth. So therefore, here in all these things, emphasis is more on practical knowledge, greater integration of internship, apprenticeship, project. I mean, a bit later, I'm going to give a list of platforms where They are providing nano degrees, certificate courses, online degrees. Their focus is more on practical skills. They are attracting more students. So therefore, in this backdrop, dear friends, I would like to bring to one of the most important thing to your information, that there is growing adaptability divide in higher education institutions. I hope you can understand the concept. There is growing adaptability divide in higher education institution, in the sense, higher education ecosystem is witnessing a growing divide between the institutions that are adapting to the industry demands and the other group of institutions which are not so fast in adapting to that change. So therefore, this divergence resulted in two different kinds of higher educational institutions. One is adaptive institutions, which have already changed their curriculum to meet the industry needs, and they are attracting the major chunk of the students. And in fact, on this platform, I think majority of the people who are gathered here, majority of us are from non-adaptive institutions. Probably you might have seen. Now we are struggling to enroll students for our economics graduation or post-graduation. But probably you might have, in recent years, you might have observed IITs, some other premier institutes, they have started post-graduation in economics with different kind of applications. There is heavy rush in that for that courses, because they are teaching the same economics which is tailored to the industry needs. There is heavy rush, but they have adapted for the change. But when, institutions like ours, when we are not tailored our courses to the industry needs, we could categorize ourselves into non-adaptive institutions. While the adaptive institution focus on skill development, industry collaborations, and innovative teaching methodologies. These are the basic qualities. Whereas we, the non-adaptive institutions, we are struggling with outdated curricula and limited employability outcomes. So let me elaborate something about. Let me give my analytical views on what are the important characteristic features of these adaptive institutions which are successful in attracting more and more number of students where there is heavy rush for admission. There are institutions where there is a lot of rush. Even they could not meet the demands of the students. What is the qualities of those institutions? What are the important characteristics of such institution? If you analyze that, number one, they are industry aligned curricula. They have the industry aligned curricula and focusing more on experiential learning rather than just their focus is not on rote learning. It is not just passing on the information. They are training experiential learning. Updated syllabus with industry inputs. It may be in the areas of artificial intelligence or blockchain, whatever that may be. Now we are still teaching banking and finance in a conventional form. Now, say just I mentioned IITians or some other premier institutes which are teaching higher education in economics. They are teaching the blockchain technology in the financial business. And their practical approaches, they focus more on case studies. Their focus is not just on theoretical explanation of the things. Capstone projects, they give live projects. They give a project wherein a student is practically exposed to a problem, discuss with the professor, and come out with a solution. That's how they are their teaching methodologies, and their focus is on digital and soft skills, interdisciplinary learning, courses on AI, coding, data analytics. Actually, there is no problem. I mean, we know. We always, we are in the habit of blaming, our students are not able to cope up with the teaching of data analytics. The problems are different. Our input is also with problem. But I am just telling, wherever possible, we could think of in this line. And soft skills trainings, it may be in terms of leadership, or it may be in terms of, see, as far as leadership is concerned, the kind of students we are, getting is no way inferior. But we could also enable them to develop a different kind of leadership among our students, and blending the disciplines. Now, actually, we used to say, now we are struggling. Oh, commerce people, economics people. No, it's not that. There is a good scope now. We have to blend the different disciplines and understand the industry needs. Give the short-term courses. We train the students just to meet the particular, to perform the particular task in the industry. So that's how the adaptive institutions are doing. And they have their industry collaborations and startups. Their focus is more on internships. PG learning, actually, we focus our PG students heavily loaded with theoretical classrooms. We don't have internship programs. We don't have apprenticeship, hands-on learning experience. We are not yet started now. Real world case analysis. So these are the things which the students who are learning in the adaptive institutions are get exposed to. And also they are advanced teaching methodologies like research-driven pedagogy. Of course, we have our own problem. Even if we give a project, we know how our students are preparing our projects. Just to give practical exposure, even if we give an assignment of project preparation, all the teachers know what our students are doing. And also, of course, the workload, the time you are getting may not able to monitor them. And also, even if you monitor, you may be in the situation that you have to write rather than making them to write. So I do accept and I do understand the kind of nature of problem. Problem-based learning, flipped classrooms, technology integration. So these are some of the characteristic features of the adaptive institution. When it comes to non-adaptive institution, what are the challenges we are facing? The most important challenges we are facing is our curricula is outdated, not industry aligned. And bringing change in curriculum itself is highly rigid. It has bureaucratic lineup through which it has to pass through. Theory-heavy education with limited industry relevance. Lecture-driven. Passive learning with minimum students' engagements. And poor graduate employability because of, as an outcome, you have poor employability among graduates. Employers seeking practical skills. But our graduates are lacking in the practical skills. Even it may be any course that may be. And we have limited industry collaborations. We don't know. I think even though I am in university, sir, what is your achievement in industry collaboration? I am also saying that we have very limited industrial collaborations. That's where we are lagging. And even if you say collaborations, sometimes people are coming forward for documentary collaborations. Now we don't want to have, documentary collaborations may not improve the employability among our students. We need the collaborations which actually develop the industry academia relationship rather than just for the sake of documentation. So with this, teaches all these things with synthesizing all these things. Before I'm moving on to economics, just I will prepare a list of reasons why there is declining demand for traditional courses. There is declining demand for traditional courses. What are the most important reason for that? First and foremost thing, there is shift towards professional courses, offering better employability opportunity than just the conventional degree. Now, people are looking for the courses which improve their which improve their employability. I mean, that means to say indirectly, which are incorporating the employability skills. And there is high demand for technology-driven programs, maybe in AI, data science, and digital fields. You might have seen in most of your GFGCs, nowadays BCA programs are fully loaded. There is heavy demand for BCA. Even our the students with arts background in PUC, they wish to given an opportunity, they to wish to join for be a Bachelor of Computer Applications. Yeah, because there is such demand, and there is perception of limited job opportunities for courses like BA, and there is increasing preference for vocational and skill-based programs, which are aligned with the fourth industrial revolution. Added to that, there is societal pressure and parental societal pressure, pushing the students towards STEM education, science, technology, mathematics. So, I mean, the most of the students are moving towards that direction. Probably you might have seen. Actually, there were a lot of economic students in the domain of banking, finance, insurance. Now, probably you might have seen when even increase in the graduates in the domain of engineering graduate, I mean, banking sector, finance sector are being filled with the engineering graduates. Probably you might have observed that. And more than that, nowadays, there are a lot of both private owned and public encouraged online learning platform. So that means there is a big migration to online certifications that are shorter in duration and industry relevant. And actually, I have prepared a list of online platform. I have prepared the list of online teaching platforms. Let me show that. 1 second. Let me take you to that link where there are a lot of online teaching platforms. I'm sorry, I'm not able to log into that list. I will share you that list. I mean, that list gives you about the online platforms, nature of the course that are there being offered, like, nano degrees, certificate courses, diploma courses, number of students registered for them, and their strength, their focused area, all the things. I wish to give you that big list of online platform. Students are being migrating, majority of the students are being migrating to such courses. And added to that, there are inadequate curriculum updates in conventional courses to match the contemporary industry needs, and low industry linkage and placements. So these are some of the issues. With this, in fact, I want to share. I think this is something, so this is just a theoretical experience, conceptual presentation. Added to that, I have conducted one research survey, particularly exploring the impact of education and career transition, which could give some insights on what we have to do